Yo, welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Thanks for tuning in. On this episode, I'm driving my Scorpion G, bottom tier in a 357. That's a German premium TD. It's got a turret, pretty good gun, and a lot of mobility, zero armor. You can see that we've loaded into Fisherman's Bay, and I have spawned on the south spawn. On this episode, we are going to talk about when it's time to just run away. When you're an intermediate to a good player and you're aggressive, you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations going to what you believe is a good initial position, and it very well may be, but you're going to look at your team deployment and say, wow, that's just not working. And one of the things that we tend to do, myself included, is try to stand in on that flank a little bit longer than you need to. But sometimes you've just got to react to what's going on the map. You can't control all the other 14 guys on your team, and it's time to just run. You just got to fall back, and even in a bad situation, potentially you can start to fix it. What you do need to watch out for is not becoming a camper who is falling back before you even deploy, but we're going to talk about that aggressive player who likes to get to his good initial position and then reading the map and figuring out when it is just time to get out. So I am here on Fisherman's Bay. I'm going to head up to what is a pretty good initial position for this tank because it can get here quickly. It can use this bush right here. Might get a scout like the Bulldog going in there to give me some lights, and I may be able to punish some guys early on right here. So he actually lights that LTTB, and I'm able to put 514 on him. Kind of double bushed because he backed behind that bush right there and he was still spotted, so I'm able to shoot and not get spotted right there. But he disappears. You'll notice that we've got a whole Bulldog over here and myself. And if you're looking at the deployment of the team, we've got some guys trolling around the middle and a whole stack of guys going into the city, but not anything but myself and the Bulldog over on the 1-2 line. And that is not a recipe for a long defense, especially if the enemy team is aggressive. And there goes the Bulldog. So I know there's a Leopard over there someplace, a Leopard PTA. And more than likely, I should have got out of there about right now. So I'm going to stand in here a little bit longer. And the reason being is I've got some targets to look at right here. But unfortunately, these are not things I'm going to get a good shot on until about right here. And the WZ is coming around. I'm going to get spotted. I immediately started backing as soon as I fired there, and my intention was to get that shot, and now we're just going to have to leave. Now I could have fallen back to this area right here, but that's not going to do me any good because there's no friends there, right? So I click over there and say, look guys, I'm bailing out. You may want to pay attention to the west side of the map, and I'm just going to dive back here, run away, get some of these bushes between me and the bad guys. I wish I wouldn't have stopped right there. I thought I might get a shot on the Type 5 who's up in the middle there. And I will continue to this bush, falling back to where I should be able to get a couple views on them as they're coming. And I keep my hole pointed this way because my intention is if I get a shot, I'm just going to drive up and over this road. Potentially drive up to the road, fire, and then go off the edge because I'll be exposed for quite a long time if I fire and get seen. But it'll kind of depend on the standoff. The Type 59 is noticing what's going on. He actually comes back around. You'll see him go by me and start doing some spotting. He doesn't do a great job because he should have used those bushes around the cap. He goes right out into the open. So we're basically about to get flanked hard. We're all hanging out in 1/4 of the map. We've already lost 2 tanks to their none. And this is looking like a really bad situation. To some extent, I am in farming mode to try to get some damage as we go. But it's just a situation where just run. As I said at the beginning, there just wasn't anything I could do over on that west side. So this is the situation I've been presented with, and we'll have to go from there. I shoot in there. Even if I hit him, I did not pin him. You can see he's got the same amount of hit points. It's unfortunate, too, because his turret went sideways there, and I may have actually had a shot that could have pinned. If I'd have been able to reload, but he gets back around the building, and I take kind of a low percentage shot. I do hit him, but it bounces again. And I'm watching. You see that every time I come out and I'm reloading, I'm spinning around and taking a look. I'm not relying on just the mini-map. The good news here is that PTA shot didn't take any return fire and decided to come around and maybe try to go after the 59 again. So I was able to get one more shot in on him. And we've got a WZ coming across here. He gets lit, so I'm able to put a shot on him after he gets tracked and tries to fix it. And now there's a T-95 trundling across, and we're starting to make up a little bit of ground right here. That goes right into the mantlet. I stood on that one because I was pretty sure that 95, based on looking at the spotting circles, was not going to see me. The only issue would be maybe a scout's pushed up a little bit into those trees right there, right around the cap, so that was the danger there. But if I shoot at anything much closer now than where the 95 and the Leopard PTA have showed up, more than likely I'm going to be spotted. And that 95's coming across, he's going to be a problem. There's a spot on the Type 4. And that is a situation, exactly what I was talking about. As soon as I fired, I started moving on. And the LTTB was actually in there. So now we're going to have to fall back a little more. I'm not going to have much luck standing in right there. And that T-95 is a problem. I got a Conway helping me out there, so I'm just going to reposition way back here. If I have to push back to cap, I'll do so, but for the moment I need to fall back and create some room between me and the enemy. The 95 is just trundling, so I'm going to come over here, aim for his lower plate as best I can. I actually get a pen there. Whether that went through his track up above by the fender or the lower plate, I'm not really sure. But now we're starting to really make up some time. There's a bounce, and what I didn't notice right here until a little bit too late is there's actually 3 guys on the cap. I'm still kind of enamored of this T-95. I end up getting him, but look at that, we're down to 15 seconds. Whoa, almost go into the dirt, or into the water, not the dirt. And this is going to be, oh my gosh, a close one. The Conway's trying to get there. We're actually heading tanks. We just need some lights and some guys who can hit something. There goes the artillery and ends up resetting. I make a mistake here. I'm actually coming up to the left of these bushes, which gets me spotted. Not ideal. LTTB's making a run for it. Take him down. I'll back up. That cost me a hit. Now I'm looking for another shot in here. Looks like we got this handled. It's just clean up at this point. There's a Scorp way up there, so I should be able to take shots on him. He's probably not noticed by a whole bunch of guys. More than likely he's noticed now. Don't quite have the depression, so I do have to come up and over. It's not ideal. Look back over at the Scorpion. You'll notice every time I'm looking around during the reload in this game, and that's an important thing for you beginning to intermediate players, and when you're in a reload on a long reload tank, make sure you're zooming out and take a look around. You may see something closer that needs to be shot. You may pick up some other situation going around, maybe an ally that needs to be saved by a shot or something like that. There's a lot of different things that it could be, rather than just looking down the soda straw and shooting at the same guy over and over. You got some time, look around, and then get back in there before your reload is done. Get zoomed back in and fire just as you reload is what you're looking for right there. I get a little bit timid here. I don't really want to get clipped out by the bat jet. He goes down anyway, and now I'm in a sort of bad position. I got a couple highlights, and I'm really trying to drop it over top of that dead tank, which was probably never going to happen. That would have been super lucky. And somehow I get the spotting off of that, the whole 46 assist damage that I have in the game. So 4,000 damage. We end up turning what looked to be a pretty bad situation into a winning game right there, and it really just revolves around, you're going to go to that initial spot that you like. Early positioning is important. Get a couple shots, and then look at the mini-map, look at your team deployment, and go, all right, projecting into the future, I know I might get a shot, 2 or 3 here, and then I'm going to have to skedaddle and get out of here. And as it stood, I probably waited just a little bit longer than I should have, because had their team been any kind of offensive over on the 1-2 line, they may have come up around and spotted me early, and now I've got that long run across that open field, and they're just shooting the living snot out of me. The good news is they weren't. So I get up there, get some shots, and then I back off, just run away. Sometimes you just have to. And like I said, for a intermediate to pretty good player, as you're starting to transition into that purple area and above, it's looking at the games like that, assessing the flow of the game, and being able to be flexible on your own plan, and make it malleable enough that it fits what's actually going on the map. And I still have that issue, because I will sometimes just go to a flank, and I'm so irritated that the team is playing the map wrong, and I'll say, I'm just going to do whatever I can do over here and move on. But if you're really in try-hard mode, you're looking to get as much damage as you want, you're chasing 3 marks, or you're just really looking to get to that, I'm a 3,500 or more win 8 kind of guy, These are the kind of things that you need to do to preserve your hit points, preserve your tank, and keep fighting, and increase your win rate along the way. All right, guys, hope you like what you saw. Hope you learned something. As always, if you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see you.